Hello, welcome again to Canada CPA Online Academy, sharing the wisdom. Um, Today, we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is debriefing the cases that you have written or will be writing. So, if you are registered for September 2021 CFE, then you will be going through the Capstone 2 process where you'll be like writing a lot of day 1, 2, and 3 cases, and it is very important step, that is debriefing the cases, the answers, the feedback that you receive after marking your cases, because this is like a course correction. It tells you that you're heading in a wrong direction, and you have time to correct your course, to identify the gaps and how to move to a more achieving this, like scoring more C's in the process. So that this is a very important process. Don't take it lightly. Just writing the cases, just studying the technicals is not important unless you include the debriefing part in your cases. Okay. So today we'll see what are the steps, how to debrief, what is the process that I followed. I would try to explain, and then you can develop your own process of debriefing based on that. So very first important point, this is to identify what went wrong in a case and how to correct the course. Okay. Uh, Before we move ahead, if you're new here, please share, subscribe to the channel, and like the video, share it with your friends, study buddies. I upload CFE preparation tips and videos every week to help you in your studies. And thank you for all the messages that you have been sending me, your questions. I'm trying to answer everything in the upcoming videos. Thank you. So let's start with the very first step. You need to first understand how the AOs are assessed. So each AO is rated between these 5 categories based on your answer. So the very first is NA. NA means not address. You were not able to either identify the AO, or you were able to identify, but you were maybe you ran out of the time. Maybe you didn't know the answer. So whatever the reason, you have not addressed that AO at all. There is no mention of that AO in your case. So that is NA. Second point is NC. NC is nominal competency. So that means you are not competent enough. You have maybe just mentioned the AO, but there is nothing significant to assess there. RC is your reaching competency. So for first two, the marks are 0. Reaching competency, you will get at least 1 mark. So that means you are there, halfway there, but still something is missing. Either some details are missing, case facts are missing, some components you haven't, the quantitative analysis is not complete, or you have not written the conclusion. Something is missing. That is why it is given at RC. Next one is competence, that you have done everything well. So you get C, it is given 2 marks, and CD is competent with distinction. So that means you have exceeded, you have like ticked all the boxes. Now be aware that whenever you are scoring CD, it most probably means that you're spending too much time on that AO. So if you on your overall case marks, if you see that you have scored 2 CDs but 2 NAs, that means you spent too much time on these 2 AOs to get CD, which made you to leave out the other 2 AOs. So don't do that. You have to balance so your score should be reaching somewhere between RC and Cs. And then if you have addressed everything and then you are able to score CD, very well. That's good. So remember, these are the 5 categories of the assessment of the AOs that you will see on your marking when your case is marked, and when you receive the feedback, each AO will be assessed based on these 5 categories. Now, um, very first thing, if when like first question is, when should I debrief? Okay, so if the case is marked by someone, like if you are writing it as a part of Capstone 2, or if you are taking some courses from Densmore Prep or wherever you're coaching somewhere you're taking and someone is marking your case, as soon as you get the marked response, you have to debrief. Before writing the next case, please debrief the first received response and the case first. Now, not every case that you write is getting marked by someone, right? So if you have study buddies, if you're getting it marked like for each other, then do that. Otherwise, if you're doing it as a self-assessed, like you're checking the answer from the CFE board report and you're doing the self-assessed case, then do it as soon as you write the case. Like for day 3, if you're writing the case for 1.5 hour, take a break and then immediately, suppose you're writing it in the afternoon, then in the evening, check the response, check what you missed, self-assess what you would give, whether you will give it an RC, whether you will get an C, and then analyze what went wrong. So that is, so as soon as you get the response or you're writing, debrief first. Don't rush into writing the next cases until you finish debriefing your cases first. Okay. Second thing, what is the process? How to debrief? Now, in the part of capstone 2, CPA will give you a package for each case. That package will contain the full solution, the sample solution, feedback guide, historical average, then annotated version, and the quantitative part of the case, like the fonts in the Excel file. So you will get a package of each case. Now, initially, what I would suggest is first read the complete solution, the detailed solution. It is very long, but first check that solution, then check the feedback guide, then each AO, start with each AO and check what you got for that AO, whether you received NC or whether you received NA or C or whatever. For each AO, ascertain what you scored for that AO. Now you start analyzing why you got that. Okay. Now start with NAs, because means that means you have not addressed that AO. Understand the reason why it was an NA. Were you not able to spot the AO? Was your reading insufficient? Whether you missed the trigger for that AO, or whether it was that you ran out of time and you were not able to address that. So understand even for NAs, why NA, and try to eliminate all the NAs first. So like each case you write progressively, there should not be NAs. Then NCs, similar process for each type of score. That NC, why did you get an NC? Now from NC, when you move to RC, okay, you have moved to RC. What is it that you're missing to reach that level of C? Suppose in quantitative analysis, there were 5 adjustments required and you did only 3. So understand why you did 3. Why you could not have attempted the rest of the 2 adjustments that would have easily moved you to C. Sometimes there is a small point that you have done everything, but you just have not concluded, like specific conclusion of like giving them specific answer of that AO, that okay, proceed with this option A. Sometimes it's just a one-liner conclusion, but there is a separate tick mark for conclusion. Like there is a separate section where you have to write the conclusion to reach to C. So there are sometimes there are smaller points that if you can consistently improve, then you will move from RC to C. Now, if you are if you have scored C or CD, then also try to analyze what was that in that AO that you were able to score C or CD. Is it that you were just good at the subject, you knew everything, or you wasted too much time that because of that you scored CD? So analyze, because that is also important to check your overall performance as such. Now, after that, when you're going through all this process, you will notice that something is missing. That's why you were not able to score C. So whenever you're going through that, start making a separate folder, file, whatever your method is for your debriefing notes points. those will help you for future cases that, oh, I made this mistake. I didn't copy the handbook criteria, or I didn't complete the qualitative analysis, or I did the quantitative, but I didn't do the qualitative analysis. I missed writing the pros and cons, or whatever the reason is. Start writing subject wise and AO wise what was the problem, and what was missing, what was expected and what was missing. So that type of notes, start collecting, writing those notes. Those are going to help you, because the AOs are repetitive. So sometimes you will understand from your mistakes. Now, to go into detail, as I said, read the solution. As I explained, there is like a full detailed solution, there is a sample answer solution, and there is a CPA annotated version. So full detailed solution is an ideal solution that if you have entire time in the world, and if you have in-depth analysis, how will you write an AO? It is a very detailed solution. It will give you all the pros, all the cons. So it's an ideal solution, full-fledged. Don't get overwhelmed by that solution, because practically it is not possible to write in that detailed depth. It is just for understanding what all can be covered up in that AO. Okay, so don't get overwhelmed. It is not expected to write to that level. It is just an ideal, perfect answer. So, but that will give you what all the points could be touched on that AO. Suppose like if it's an MAO, what are the quantitative adjustments? All of, if you do everything, what is the answer? And on the qualitative side, if you write every pro, every con, and the conclusion, what it will look like. So that is the full detailed solution. Second option is sample answer solution. So it is more realistic, but sometimes there could be like some mistakes. Not all the AOs are at C level. So it will give you a realistic guide of what is practically possible in in actual case writing scenario. So the samples answer solution will give you that. So compare both and arrive at your own conclusion of what you were missing. If you have like NA, or you're not able to understand the thought process, then there is an annotated version where they are explaining that, okay, this was the trigger. They will highlight a problem that the CEO is wondering of the X and YZ product. So if you miss that CEO is wondering means you are supposed to do something about that. And if you miss that trigger, it will help you to eliminate those not addressed situation where it didn't even strike to you that it was an AO and it was supposed to be answered, or it was a trigger or something like that. So that version helps you initially, at least for first few cases, try to go through to develop your thinking process um, and the reading habit of the case. And then after a few cases, once you're pro, you will you don't need the annotated version. um, Now understand, initially when you start all this process, it's time consuming. It's very time consuming, because even a day 3 case, you will write the case in 1 hour, but the debriefing may take you 2 to 3 hours. So that is, now imagine a day 2 case of 5 hours you're writing, then you will be debriefing for another 5 hours. So it is a long process, but it is worth it to understand the mistakes, to understand the process. And as you move in your capstone 2 journey, as you start writing the cases, your mistakes are lesser. You are becoming more familiar with the case writing process. You're more clear with what is expected. And then as you move towards C, the cases that you debrief later stages, it's the few points you need to just check and move on. But initially, this is going to be a time consuming process. So be prepared for that. Second thing is, after reading the solution, second thing is feedback guide. Now, feedback guide is, I would say, the best resource to understand your performance. The Capstone 2 CPA markers, they will give you a very detailed feedback. And then go through each AO, each checkbox. Like there is a For some points you will see that is attempted, discussed. See the cross marks where you fall. If you fall under attempted more, that means you are missing something. So understand the difference between the attempted and discussed. Attempted means you have touched the concept, but you have very briefly mentioned, you have not elaborated, or you have not pointed out the exact. Suppose for tax, what is the exact tax rule? You can't just say that this is exempted, why it is exempted, what is the tax rule, what is the calculation. So if you have not gone into that detail, then you stay into that attempted side of the column. So understand what makes it to the level of discussed. So when it is discussed, you score C. So understand the differences for each AO, what is required. Go back to your case, what you have written, and then understand. Um, and then you will get to the C level, and the improvements will start coming. Then for quantitative AOs as calculations as well, understand how many calculations were required for a total adjustment. Suppose, for example, for a cash flow, there are like 10 adjustments that are given in the case as such, but there are only 7. If like the requirement is, if you do 7 reasonably calculated adjustments, then you are through. Now understand, when you are saying 7, focus on the material adjustment. Don't go for just smaller ones. See what is material and go for those adjustments first. And that will give you a judgment that for quants, it is not required to do every single adjustment. So you will run out of time. So it is not. So understand that ratio of each AO, and then you will start getting a judgment that what will qualify a C. Similarly, for management accounting, usually the AOs are equally balanced between quant and qual. But quant is so heavy that people get carried away doing the quants, and they lose track of the qualitative analysis. So don't do that. Understand that qualitative analysis, writing the pros or cons of a product or a make or buy situation, it is also important to give you that weightage. So even if you do a perfect quant, if you have not touched upon the qualitative side, you're still going to get NC or RC. So understand that. Understand how many pros are required, how many cons are required. So just going through that process, you will start getting a judgment where you stand and how much detail is required. And the next point is like organize all your debriefing notes and implement whatever your learnings are for the next case. Now organize it subject wise, chapter wise, so that when you are referring it back, it's easier to find out the relevant notes for whatever you are trying to do for that next AO. Then once you solve a few cases, you will find that you are making some mistakes that are repetitive. So go deeper into that. Like suppose one IFRS or general FR, if you see that consistently you are scoring NC or RC, then understand what is missing. Maybe you're missing to copy the handbook criteria, or maybe you're copying the handbook criteria, but you're just copying and moving ahead. If you have to copy and then link it back to the case facts, that okay, this is suppose depreciation, this is what is given, this is the handbook criteria, what is the case fact, why it applies as a capital asset, or whatever the case is. So don't just copy the handbook criteria. So that would be your note, or that would be your reminder in your debrief notes, that don't just copy, you have to link it back to the case facts. So understand what is missing and why is it missing, and go deeper into identifying the reasons and then correct them for your next case. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that don't just rush into writing the cases. It's not going to help you. Write the case, wait for the feedback or the marked response, debrief, understand, create the debrief notes, and then write the next case so that you can implement the corrections. You can implement whatever went wrong into your next case. So sometimes maybe you missed that AO completely, or you have not you are at NC, so maybe rewrite that AO. If you're not trying, if you're not able to self assess, not able to understand what is going wrong, rewrite that AO, send it to your study buddy, get a feedback that what is missing, what is expected in this AO. I have written it like this, what is expected and what am I missing. Sometimes we are not able to see for ourselves that what what the feedback is trying, guide is trying to say, and what you're writing. Sometimes it is difficult to spot the gap. So take help from your tutors, mentors, study buddies, or whoever you are studying with. Get the help and try to ascertain the problem and improve on those areas. And very important is maintain a tracking sheet to monitor all this progress, so that I have a video on a tracking sheet, how to make a tracking sheet, how to track it effectively. So check that to understand what I mean by tracking sheet. So tracking sheet will help you to monitor your progress. So you will, in at a one glance, it is different from debrief notes. Tracking sheet is will just give you the score, and at a one glance, it will show you whether you are improving. If you are not improving on overall basis, if you're improving in certain areas, if you're weak in certain areas, so it will give you at a glance how your progress is. So track that progress and and implement all those learnings in your next case. So I think that's it for on the debriefing. I will try to make a video specific on how to debrief a specific AO, just to give you a sample and example, like from what is the mistake, how to identify, and how to create a debrief note so that it would clarify even more. And if you have any questions, please feel free to mention in the comments. And please like, share, subscribe the channel. And thank you for your support.